I have known some brethren over the years who have felt that confessing sins often, like sort of being quick with this and failing and immediately confessing it, it's too much because it's overdoing it, because I am then focusing too much on my sin, and like I don't know why they thought that. Maybe they felt it was like a downward focus and it's not positive or whatever, I'm not sure, but they felt there was too much focus on sin. And I have to strongly disagree with that, because confession of sin, I think, when done rightly, when done according to the Word of God, confession of sin is actually being focused on God. It's being refocused on God. It's not a focus on sin at all. It doesn't have anything to do with it. Just the other morning we talked about this, that either I confess against my sin before God, or my sin confesses against me before God. Another way to look at that same thought that we looked at from Isaiah is Romans 7. So Romans 7:20, it says, "Now if I do what I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwells in me." Now that statement requires like a separation to be able to say, that thing in me is doing it, but I am not the one doing it. And that's an important separation. If I do not confess my sin, I actually testify that I am doing it. But when I confess my sin, I am saying I am not that. And that's so important. I am saying to the Lord, I am not that. Actually, my focus was on that, but no longer. Now I want my focus to be on you. That's basically confession of sin, because a confession of sin where I say, I sinned and I keep sinning, that's not a confession of sin, obviously, biblically. But when we say, that's my sin and that's not me and I don't want that, that's a confession of sin. That's a true confession of sin. And that is not focusing on sin, actually. When I do not confess my sin, I actually testify that I am the one doing it. So, same chapter, verse 22, "For I delight in the law of God after the inward man." Yeah, so when I actually say, I want you, Lord, and not that, when I confess my sin and I say, forgive me, Lord, this is, I don't want to live in this. Just give me the strength to not, I'm not interested. This is not you are my life. When I say that, though I be weak, I am actually saying that I delight in the law of God after the inward man. I am saying something very important. I tell God where my delight lies, that it's with Him. And I tell my own soul that, actually. I tell my own heart, my delight lies with God. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that sin. That's not the story. That's not my life. And I think, therefore, it's very clearly it is very clear that confession of sin is not a focus on sin. It is when I do not confess my sin. That's when I am focusing on my sin. That's when I am fellowshipping with my sin. That's when I am actually too focused on sin. So yeah, I hope that's something worthwhile chewing on, and God bless your day with the Lord.